Hello and welcome to the Community Unity vlog. Today we're going to be sitting down with CEO Keith Muniz of the Arc of Martin County. We're at the Florida Podcast.Studio in Stuart, Florida. Thank you, Eddie Arwaez, for donating and being a proud sponsor and community partner of CSC. So Keith, last time I saw you, we had a little bit of a different venue, but we were recording. And I was dancing around Martin. You taught me some salsa moves.
I do. I remember that. So that was fun. So we'll dance around the table today and make sure that we get a good message out there. So,
of course.
Thank you.
I'm really looking forward to getting to know you, the man behind the mission for Arc of Martin County. This is exciting. Part of the whole process is being able to meet the CEOs and the men and the women who are behind the mission of each organization that CSC funds. Tax dollars are at work with Arc of Martin County.
Yes, they are.
So CSC provides funding. Let me just make sure I'm reading it so that I'm not messing anything up. For the Alternative Behavioral Learning Environment program under our funding priority, which is the Success in School and Life, Youth Development, and Academic Support. That's a tongue twister, but
affectionately known as ABLE.
Yes,
That's right.
ABLE. Thank you, ABLE. But the mission statement for ARC is empowering children and adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities and other related disabilities to achieve their fullest potential through state-of-the-art residential, vocational, educational, behavioral, and other health-related programs and services to ensure choices, opportunities, advocacy, and family supports.
Correct.
That's a lot for one organization.
Well, it's a lifetime of achievements for individuals from 3 to 93 years old. So there's a lot in between 3 and 93 that we need to ensure that we're addressing. So thus the very thorough and informative mission statement. So.
Well, I'm so excited to learn more about ARC. But first, let me learn a little bit more about you. Can you tell me, how long you've been with Arc of Martin County, the why you are with Arc of Martin County, and, just what you believe in and why you love the mission so much.
Okay, well,
that's low. Oh, very
I thought
many.
we only had 30 minutes to
No.
talk, but okay, I'll try to summarize that quickly. But it is a population that is near and dear to my heart and always has been. I guess it goes back to my earliest days. Was in college. A friend of mine had invited me to a Thursday night recreational program that our university conducted every Thursday, and that invited all of the local agencies who provide services to people with intellectual and developmental disabilities to come to the campus and have a recreational night. Students, college students, would come and volunteer and buddy up with different individuals. And I said, sure, why not? I'll do it, and I'll give it a try. And I ended up getting assigned to a particular gentleman that his name was Robert. I will always remember Robert. And we had all kinds of activities. We could have taken him to gymnastics, basketball, swimming pool, the bowling alley. We had full amenities on our campus. And so I said, Robert, I'm Keith, and we're going to have a great time. What do you want to do? And he said, I want to go downtown to the pub and get a beer. And I said, oh, that's unique. And so I came to the realization right then and there that this is an individual who has his own particular likes and dislikes and aspirations and dreams, and he was just like me. And we ended up developing a long friendship from that point forward. And every Thursday night, we'd get together. We'd do different things, unique things. We'd get in some of those recreational activities as well. But I really made it my career from that point forward, where other students were working in the cafeteria or something, trying to, pay for some of their college expenses. I became a direct care worker working at a local agency serving people and assisting people with disabilities. And so I tell all of my staff now, I started off as a direct care worker, just like many of you, worked my way up to an assistant manager, to a manager, to a director. Then I went postgraduate school and became a behavior analyst and by trade, and I started working in the behavioral units and working with behavioral services, and then being a person that kept complaining, we need more money, they said, well, go out and raise it. And then all of a sudden I became the fundraiser and I was raising money, and I was working in the finance, and I was doing facility acquisitions, and deinstitutionalizing people throughout this time period was a big move to move people out of state institutions. And so I've probably moved 350 plus people out of state institutions throughout my career into small community-based programs. Wow. And where they're thriving and working and being productive citizens. And midway through my career, my firstborn son was born with Down syndrome, and he thrived and grew in our programs as well. And it's just been a pleasure working with this population that I will use the term worthy several times, and that term worthy is an important word. And it's a passion. It's the word behind the passion of everything I do and my staff do. And I do want to mention it's not a one-man show. I have an incredible staff that are passionate and committed to assisting and supporting this population to achieve their fullest potential. And it's been a pleasure and a great ride. I've been doing this for 36 years now and 19 years at the Arc of Martin County.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That is just such a great way, because you've been called to do this type of work, and it's clear and it's apparent that you have a passion for it. And when you were in college, you got your career right there.
Exactly.
That's amazing. So 36 years.
I changed my major probably 5 times before really selecting my health major and with a discipline and with disabilities. But I lucked out just at one little ask. Someone asked me to participate in this program, and it really made a difference for me and guided me in my direction. So.
And basically decided the rest of your future.
Sure, absolutely.
That's amazing. So you said it. You serve ages 3 to 93, so all stages of life.
That's correct.
And can you tell me a little bit more about the ABLE program and what makes it unique and the benefits to Martin County?
Sure. The ABLE program is Alternative Behavioral Learning Environment, and it's an extension of the school programs and the learning process for many of the children and students in our program. The schools do a great job. They develop an IEP plan for each individual, an individual education plan that addresses their unique, specific goals. But we're an extension of that. When school ends, we continue the process. When school is out, we continue the process. If it's a teacher work day all day long, school may end, but parents have to work, and their children can't be left unattended. They require supervision. So our after-school program picks up from 9 different schools, and we transport them to our programs. When school is out, parents can drop off their children in the morning and pick them up at the end of the day. And then throughout the summer, when school is closed, we provide the summer camp program, and it's all part of the ABLE program. The ABLE program is an extension of their IEP plan, and we work on the same goals and barriers that they need to overcome, but we add a behavioral component to it. We have registered behavior techs. We have board-certified behavior analysts who look at each individual, would kind of address what are some of the challenges that they're encountering within our programs, and how can we train our staff to better address and assist these individual students to move forward and progress in whatever it is that is their particular barrier. For some, it may be speech communication. For some, it may be social interaction with their peers or with their neighbors or in the community. Others, it may be using a phone, using communication devices, doing arts and craft, or playing nicely, or following a sequence of events that are 1, 2, 3, or first me, then you, then staying in line, order of procession. There's a whole host of different things that we're just addressing them at their specific point of need. Individually specific to them. And these behavior analysts are able to design these approaches that are going to reinforce to them, because not everybody is reinforced in the same manner.
Exactly. I'm not the same as you.
So.
I might like something a little bit different than the person sitting next to me. And so that's great that you're able to really hone in on the individual and really help them attain their full potential. Like, obviously, that's why you have that in your mission statement.
Correct. Yeah.
So 9 different schools. Do you work with the Martin County School District? What are some of your partnerships that you have?
We do partner with the Martin County Schools, and they assist us with getting the word out and offering the programs. They sometimes offer us certain trainings that go beyond our reach, so that I can send my staff to attend some of their trainings. They don't provide transportation, so that's why we have to pick up individually at all of these schools. So luckily, CSC funds a couple of vehicles for us, but it's a challenge. We have to use some of our other fleet because we've grown so big, then 9 different schools. We used to only pick up from 1 or 2 high schools. Now we're picking up from all the high schools, the majority of the middle schools, and some of the elementary schools. So it's a lot of ground to cover.
So tell me about this growth. How much of it have you seen in the past couple years, and what has been the cause, do you think?
I think the it's not necessarily a cause. It's just a word getting out there that parents are learning. I don't have to quit my job. I don't have to work part-time. I can work full-time. So the need has been that parents need to work full-time, especially in our current economy.
Yes.
So we were starting to grow 2-3 years ago significantly then. Then COVID hit. We never shut down. We had to keep operating because many of our families are first responders, or they work in the hospitals, or so we had to provide this situation even though the schools shut down. So we continued operation, and luckily the CSC program was funding us to continue those operations. We had to obviously instill all the healthcare safety protocols, which we do with our residential program, because those don't shut down either. We operate 24/7, 365 days a year. And during COVID, we had to do this as well. And so that also allowed families to learn about our programs and to access our programs where everything else was closing down. And then when the COVID restrictions started to release and everything started to come back to normal, they continue to grow. Exactly. So once they taste something good and they see it works and they trust it, and it's and their children are obviously changed for the better because they really, it's a known fact that children with special needs can learn very well and significantly, but they need repetitiveness and consistency. But when the schools close down, especially during the summertime, if they go a long period of time, they start to regress in what they've learned. Our program allows that to not occur. So we continue the learning process. We continue the reinforcing of what they've learned throughout the school year, both in the schools and in our after-school programs. And you see very little regression, but more increased in achieving some of their outcomes throughout the summertime process. But at the same time, it's a fun, loving, exciting time. We try to make it a fun camp, just like when we were young. It entails swimming, horseback riding, arts and crafts, nature trails, exploration, museums, the whole 9 yards. It really is an enriching process for them.
And you're able to do that through community relationships and partners and businesses that allow you to go bowling.
Correct.
And allow you to go to the swim park. And
we actually we partner. One of our partner agencies is another CSC funded program, the YMCA.
Yep.
So they have the swimming pool and they have the swim program. So in Florida, a very high cause of death for children is drownings, and that pertains to children with special needs as well. So we put all of our children in our camp through the swim program. And
Splash is what it's called.
Splash, okay. And it's a great program, and it teaches them and ensures their ability to learn how to swim. And the majority of every single camper that went through that program passed their swimming test.
That's amazing.
So yeah, that is a great achievement.
And Splash is available at the YMCA and the Treasure Coast on Monterey, and also at Selfish Splash. But it's open to families starting, I believe, at 6 months and up. So check that out and see how you can get those free swimming lessons to make sure your child stays safe. Yeah. But that's great to highlight those different partnerships as well that we have with other nonprofits, and both are probably funded by CSC with Martin County taxpayer dollars. So thank you again. Right. So you set up respite care for the parents, and can you explain to our viewers what respite care is for those who might not understand?
Respite care is very critical to many of the families. I don't want to dispel the abilities and the achievements that people with special needs and the contributions they can make to their community and the achievements they can be successful at. But they do have challenges, and many of the families that have special needs children, they wouldn't change a single thing about them. They love them the way they are. They experience a lot of different love and experiences that they normally wouldn't experience. And so you can ask many of these families. They wouldn't change that for anything in the world. But that doesn't mean that that doesn't come with challenges. Raising any type of child comes with challenges. But a child with special needs, you may find that they have repetitive vocalizations, or they have repetitive behaviors, or the family doesn't have the tools or the techniques to kind of address those particular needs at this point. So that can cause a high level of burnout with the families. And so that's where respite comes in for many of these families. We provide an opportunity, an outlet for them to place their children in our program, where they can receive instruction or playtime or supervision, and it allows the parents to spend quality time with each other, or to spend time with other siblings that may not have a disability, because they're giving so much time and attention to the child with special needs because they require additional supervision or additional training, and therefore sometimes the typical children who don't have disabilities may be a little left behind or left out. And so this gives the opportunity for them to spend quality time with them, or just simply an opportunity for the parent themselves to have quiet time, to go out, to shop or socialize themselves, because typically when you have a child with special needs, a lot of those are create barriers for the parents and the families to get that downtime, those breaks, and that's what's so critical with the respite program.
And self-care is so important, especially when you are taking care of a loved one and helping them be their full selves. It's nice to be able to have that time for yourself. So that's a great resource that families are able to take part of from ARC.
Exactly.
And that's for all ages, correct?
That's correct. Yep.
And our ABLE program, that is focused on which age group?
The ABLE program that's funded by Children's Services Council is focused on 3 years old to 22 years of age or younger.
Okay. Okay, so they have the school aged. So, because a lot of developmentally disabled students, they go through school up until 22 years old, correct?
That's correct. They can get a high school degree or a special degree at age 18, but because the funding goes through the school systems and because some special needs students require that extensive learning period or extended period of time to just acquire some of those skills before they graduate from school or leave the school system, there is the opportunity for them to stay within the school programs up until the age of 22.
Oh, that's great.
So therefore, we likewise provide our funding as Children's Services provides that extended funding up to age 22. Correct.
All right. Well, that's good to know. And if any of our parents out there who might need these services, for them to know as well. And what's the process of, being able to utilize your services? Is there an IEP? You work with them. You said that with the school district. But what's the process for the parents?
They simply need to just contact us and make an application with us, which entails completing some forms, but also we would request that they provide a copy of the student's IEP. As I mentioned earlier, we're an extension of the school system. So where the school closes at 3 o'clock, we take over for the remainder of the day. When the school is involved with out-of-school experience or teacher training days, we start early in the morning as if we were the school, and we care for them throughout the day until the end of the day. Because even though the schools may stop, that doesn't mean that the parents' job stops or that they can leave work. So many families, they work until 5 o'clock or later. That's why we extend that learning process to care for their children in a supervised, safe environment with programs that are geared specifically to their IEP. So we would need that copy of that IEP process, complete an application, be a Martin County resident, and the Children's Services Council will cover the majority of those costs.
That's amazing. And so you brought up some services and some programs that you offer. From what I understand, you have a new social and emotional curriculum for the Drumbeat program that you'll be implementing. Can you tell me a little bit more about the Drumbeat program?
Sure. That's a program that we're very excited about. We've always had we've had in the past, from many years ago, a drumming program where we purchased these very expensive drums and we implemented them through as part of our particular curriculum. But this is a brand new, unique curriculum that we were actually turned on to by the Children's Services Council of Martin County, who made us aware of a particular program. It was developed in Australia, and it's a unique curriculum that taps into the real processes of the drumming experience. So in layman terms, when you play a drum, you can play the drum fast or you can play it slow. You can play it hard, you can play it soft, you can play it loud, or you can play it quietly. There's all different ways to play that drum. You can play it in unison with other people, or you can play it independently by yourself. But all of those correlate to different emotions that we can elicit ourselves. So children with, especially children on the autism spectrum, they this is a very useful resource for them to learn how to control their emotions, how to follow direction and follow the beats. And they can learn soft, hard, loud, quietly, fast, slow, in unison, independently. And if you can teach them how to control those emotions for themselves, then they can self-regulate their behaviors, and they can become more independent and function adequately. So it is a great new program. We're excited to be implementing that. We're grateful for CSC making us aware of that program, and it's a lot of fun. You should obviously take a swing at playing those drums every now and then if you need some help in self-regulating.
Well, I feel like all of us need help with self-regulating at some point in our life. But I mean, I was playing the drums on the way to work this morning, so in my car,
Right.
of course,
Okay.
Jamming out to some Fleetwood Mac. Anyways,
Helping you with the traffic situation.
it was horrible this morning, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But it's okay, they're making a new roadway for us, and a new sidewalk, I believe, of some sort, so we can enjoy
Yep.
Martin County a little bit more, right? I guess. Anyways, from what I understand, Arc of Martin County will be getting a new name here in the near future. Can you tell me a little bit about that and the projection of what's going to be happening?
Sure, absolutely. I'm very excited about that. We are advocates for the rights of the challenge, Arc of Martin County, and we are going to be merging with the Arc of St. Lucie County. Arc of St. Lucie provides some similar services. They're not as large, but they do provide a variety and an array of services in St. Lucie County. In the past year and a half or two, we've been really experiencing a lot of growth. That's because of demand, obviously, and also stepping in to assist the state, who asked that we take over some operations of other agencies. So we took over a Miami-based organization that was providing services in St. Lucie County, and we've been operating that very well. We took over some operations in Martin and St. Lucie County from Goodwill Industries. We're now operating all of the rest stops on I-95, and that's employing people with disabilities, giving great opportunities and training opportunities for people to earn competitive wages and be self-sufficient and independent of government funding. But in the Arc of St. Lucie and the Arc of Martin County will be merging, and probably in the next month to 2 months, we will complete that merger process, and where we will acquire the Arc of St. Lucie, and then we will undergo a name change. Advocates for the Rights of the Challenge of the Treasure Coast, DBA, Arc of the Treasure Coast. And so we will be taking the resources, the tools, and the staffing of both agencies, combining them to make a bigger, stronger, more progressive organization that can do a better outreach to unserved and underserved populations between northern St. Lucie County and southern Martin County, and into unincorporated areas of both counties, because there's a lot of families in between that aren't getting services and they can't access those services. So this will strengthen our ability to better outreach and to meet the needs of those families who really desperately are trying to access the services that we provide.
Mm-hmm. And the transportation aspect, you're going to be able to really get into those neighborhoods, correct? To be able to help them, because what size was your fleet?
So we have a fleet of 45 vehicles, and so we'll probably be expanding that number in the very near future. But not only do we provide services and transportation services to the children in our children's programs and pick up from 9 different schools, there's a whole host of schools in St. Lucie County that are going to need transportation as well. We also we have 16 community-based homes. Each of those have a vehicle that needs to transport people to jobs, doctor's appointments, school, work settings, whatever it may be, social outings. And then we provide medical transportation to senior citizens. Perhaps they need transportation to doctor's appointments or dialysis or other types of outings. We leverage those opportunities and expand our transportation program because it's such an expensive program. Transportation services is so costly. You have fuel costs, you have insurance, you have vehicle repairs and maintenance. It is just, and we have to leverage all these different funding opportunities and programs to make it work. CSC plays a very big part in the children's programs, but we're able to leverage vehicle repairs and training programs for our drivers by partnering with FDOT on some of these other transportation programs. So we're looking forward to being able to expand the outreach in our transportation, which would provide access to our programs, both in Martin and St. Lucie counties.
So we are at the Florida Podcast.Studio, which is catty corner to Port Salerno Elementary. You told me something a little bit interesting prior to the cameras rolling about this particular area. Can you tell our audience about that?
Sure. I was very when you told me where we were meeting, I said, "Oh, I know that area very well," because where we're located now, that building wasn't always there. So going about must be about 12, 15 years ago, when we were having our buildings built, we were in the building right next door with our programs, and so we were there for almost a year, and it was a little bit convenient because we were able to access the Port Salerno Elementary School, and we ran our CSC programs out of the programs there. And,
wow.
Yeah,
okay, well, that's something new that I didn't realize. All right.
So we also were able to partner with some of our other partner agencies, such as the Boys and Girls Club, who had a Boys and Girls Club program on the other side of the Port Salerno area there, and we tapped into that.
Thank you so much, Keith, for spending the past 30 minutes with me, maybe a little bit longer. It's been really nice getting to know the man behind the mission and a little bit more about ARC and all the services that are available right here in Martin County and soon to be outside in St. Lucie County as well. So for the viewers, how can they get involved? Donations, volunteering, what do you have coming up?
So going back to the beginning of the program, when I used the term worthy, I would hope that they, after hearing this or visiting us or seeing us, that they come to the realization that we are a worthy organization, worthy of their support, worthy of their financial contributions, a worthy population that we are assisting and supporting every single day to achieve their fullest potential. So we're always looking for passionate people who can volunteer and work with us. They can volunteer during special events. Special events are very labor intensive, and it requires a lot of work to raise money for the mission. And so we are always looking for passionate people who are looking to have some fun, interact with the community, but also support a worthy cause. We also have volunteer opportunities within our programs. If you have a particular expertise, and maybe you're a financial person or a social worker or an administrative person, we're always looking for volunteers who can give their time and their talents to help us be better than what we are. But if nothing else, we hope that as we're approaching the end of another fiscal year, another calendar year,
tax write-offs,
that when you're considering a charity that's worthy of your tax end of the year tax contributions, we hope that you'll consider the ARC of Martin County, soon to be the ARC of the Treasure Coast, and people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, a worthy charity, worthy cause to support with your contributions, your year-end contributions.
Now, Keith, tell me, how can they get to your information?
So we have a website. It's www.arcmc.org, where you can learn all about the programs that we kind of discussed today. You'll see, obviously, CSC-funded programs, but you'll also have the opportunity to make a donation right there online. It's secure, it's safe, and it's very much appreciated. And we couldn't say enough also for the CSC Council and the support that you give us. We wouldn't be able to provide the programs or the supports and assistance to these families without the CSC funding. So again, thank you to the CSC board and all the staff at Children's Services Council for the work you do to help us achieve our mission.
Well, you are very welcome. I know I'm saying that, but I'm saying it for my whole team. We love the Arc of Martin County and the impact that you're making. And I just want to tell people, you can do the donations from the palm of your hand, arcmc.org. Learn about the events that are coming up. I know they just had a fishing tournament and a golf tournament. So get involved in that way. If you are not able to donate, just volunteer. They need the assistance. They need the help. And they have a wonderful team, a wonderful staff. And they have such an important mission, and they are doing exactly what they've set out to do and helping individuals and helping the families have support so that they can reach their full potential. So your tax dollars are at work at Arc of Martin County, soon to be Arc of the Treasure Coast.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that, Blake.